So next up is a masterclass from the sales gurus at Vimentis. CEO and founder Michel Leporte-Gordon, I hope I did pronounce that right, will offer his expert advice on building relevance in a crowded market. Take it away, Michel.
How do you become relevant in a crowded marketplace? That is a question that every entrepreneur or startup need to ask themselves sooner or later. During this session, I will try to guide you into 3 steps to answer this question. First, we're going to take a look at the market. We're going to take a look at how to become part of our client's ecosystem and what is the true value that you will bring to your market. Now, during this session, I hope you will gain something, but I hope you will also have some fun as well. My name is Michel Leporte-Gordon, and I'm very pleased to be here at the TEDx conference in Malmö. So let's first take a look at the market. In order for us to understand where it is going, we need to take a look at what has actually happened. And I want us to go back to 2006, prior to 2006, and look at how was the buying behaviors then. Because if we wanted information prior to 2006, there was a pattern that we all needed to follow. What I'm talking about, for an example, is if I wanted to know something, I needed to go to a computer. If I wanted to gain information, I did that through internet, through newspapers, the traditional way. From a consumer perspective, that means that prior to 2006, they say that we were exposed by approximately 700 commercial hits per week. Now, again, that was through newspapers, through bus stops, through radio, TV, all these traditional media that once dominated the marketplace. Now, 2006, something happened. 2006 will always be remembered as the year that completely changed the game forever. And of course, I'm talking about the iPhone. Along with the iPhone came something else. And that was actually the root to all these changes that we have seen now. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about social media platforms. Due to the fact that we now have social media platforms, we can now see that the buying behaviors have completely changed on the market. We went from approximately 700 to over 12,000 commercial hits per week. And that was a couple of years ago. What we have to do now is that we have to take a look forward. Okay, so what is our clients experiencing these days? To fully understand this, we can actually just Google the Forbes magazine cover 2007, where we had the CEO of Nokia on the cover of the magazine, and the headline was 1 billion clients. Who will ever challenge Nokia? I doubt that anyone watching this session has a Nokia in their pocket right now. So what do we learn from that? We learn that if you don't follow the waves on the market, you will not be part of the future. Because the interesting question is, okay, so where are we actually going? We see that buying behavior are changing. We see that everything is based on emotional intelligence. We need to understand the emotional ingredients in our market's buying behaviors in order for us to engage with them at all. So this is something that we have to consider from a sales perspective as well. Now, looking forward, and we take a look at the market, where it is going and what it takes to go from an idea to the market, we need to study our market much, much more from a much bigger perspective. So first of all, we need to study our market from a helicopter perspective. And what I mean with that is not just only what problems do we solve, we need to understand the full journey of our clients itself. So the past years, when I've been working with entrepreneurs and startups, when I take a look at their sales process, they are usually focusing on where the clients are right now, which is actually part of the truth. But we also need to understand that every single company out there on the market, they are actually on a journey themselves. Now, part of the message from today's session is that in order for us to become relevant, we need to understand where are the clients going. We need to understand their journeys. So you have to take a look at the client's market, and you have to watch them from you have to study them from a helicopter perspective, but you also have to take a look at the big picture. And when I say the big picture, it's also what is the chain of events that happens for your clients in order for them, for an example, to get more market shares, etc. So if we go back and look at the sales process in general, based on that we know that it's an extremely dynamic market out there, we have to figure out the whole picture now. So first of all, we start up for what is happening right now. What problems do we solve, etc. That is basically the ticket to the game. That is where you have your permission to join this game, which is called the marketplace. Now, from this perspective, we also, as I said, need to start to look at, okay, where are our clients going? What are their obstacles in between there? Because what's their goals? And how do their chain of value look like from their standpoint? Now, once we start to pay attention, it's instead of paying attention to what we can do, we start to pay attention to what is their actually need up there. Because the single most important question that you need to answer today, and I want you to write this down, is what is the true value that you bring to your market? And I want you to answer that question without going through your product or service. Because once you have the answer to that question, you actually know what is important for your clients up here. Now, here comes the tricky part. It's not enough to just study this client or that client. We need to understand the whole market they are facing. Because if it's something that COVID-19 taught us, is that there is no such thing as a straight road anymore. That has actually been the truth for many, many years. But we need to understand that today you can be relevant or on point on Monday, but you can be out of business on Friday. That's how fast things go these days. So how do we ensure to stay on top? Well, we need to understand what motivates and drives my market from this perspective. Once you have done that, you can also figure out where you fit in on this journey, and that's how you become part of your client's ecosystem. Because once you are a clear piece of the puzzle for them, in order for them to reach their goals, now you become extremely relevant in your approach. Which takes us to the modern sales process then. Because if we look at the modern sales process, it should be all about the client's journey, why it's important for them. Just like Simon Sinek says, start with why, but from the perspective of your clients. Because again, if your product or service can catapult them even quicker to their goals, now you're part of their ecosystem for real. Now you're important. And that's what we need to do. We need to stay focused. We need to look at the whole situation from this perspective, because once you do that, again, you will become extremely relevant. So when you go back now, when you look at your business, when you look at your product or service, let that go for a while and start to think about, if you were your client, if you were your market, what are you looking for? What do we need? What is our pain? What is our struggles? Because if you know these answers, then guess what happens? You become extremely relevant for your market. And the number one question that we need to ask ourselves in order to solve this puzzle is to answer the question, what is the true value that you bring to your market without going through your product or service? I hope you enjoyed this TED Talk, and I really hope you had a great time. My name is Michel Laporte-Gordon. Once again, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michel, for that amazing insight and helping businesses thrive.